Good morning, everybody. It is hashtag Monday morning with Micah. So glad you all are here and taking some time with us this wonderful morning. It's going to be a wonderful week. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it's still positive and we're still in a pandemic, unfortunately, but we're getting through it. We're finding ways to stay motivated, empowered, encouraged. So don't get lost in the darkness. It's coming out. We're getting out of it. So today, on top of that, I get to interview somebody that I've been able to have a chance of meeting and had a discussion before. And a little spoiler alert, also read her book, and she'll talk a little bit about that today. So she's a wonderful influencer, a motivational speaker, somebody that I really look up to in the healthcare industry and just as a person in general, the none other than Nancy King. Glad to be having you on this segment. It's so good seeing you.
Oh, thank you. And happy Monday, Micah. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, thank you. For those that don't know Nancy King, we'll let her tell us a little bit about herself.
Well, thank you. Yes, so I'm here in Norfolk. Just moved here 6 years ago to come work at Westminster Canterbury on Chesapeake Bay, where I'm the president of Senior Options and Westminster Canterbury at Home, a home health and hospice agency. So that's my day job. At night and weekends, I do executive coaching, and I am the author of Fired: How to Manage Your Career in the Age of Job Uncertainty. I love to write. I like to write a lot of articles. And then I think it's important because my number one job is wife and mom. And now, Micah, I don't know if you know this, my daughter had two boys. She just had twin grandsons. So I'm so happy to be a grandmother for the first time. And so I feel my life is full, and I'm so grateful.
Wow, that is a full plate.
Yeah.
That is some joy right there. I mean,
Yeah.
grandparent of twins.
Twin boys. Yep, they're 9 months old now, and she is living 10 minutes from us, obviously, so we can help and stay connected. And my son, our son, Dave and my son, moved home from Brooklyn because you don't want to be in Brooklyn now. There's really nothing you can do. So he's home, working from home until this pandemic kind of settles. So, there were a few silver linings to the pandemic for the King family.
And that's what I tried to let people know is that, even in the negatives, there are some positives.
There are.
Come out of it. And you have to find them sometimes, but they are there. So with all of that, you have a full plate.
Yeah.
Somehow you still manage to do presentations, you do education, encouragement, you do a lot of things. How do you, manage that? Like, how do you be able to find the time to do all these presentations and do these recruitment retention discussions on staff? Like, how do you find the time to do all of that? And what does that entail too?
Yeah. Well, have you ever found this to be true, that if you want something done, give it to a busy person? I mean, it's just, it's a blessing. I don't know how else to say it. To whom much is given, much is expected. And I feel truly blessed, and that I have been given an abundant life, and I really want to give back. I'm at the age in my life where it's more about helping others than it is about advancing my own career. So it's a real pleasure to be able to be in that seat and to be able to shine through others as opposed to having it all about me. And it's been a wonderful transition. I can do it, especially now, because so much of it's like this, virtual. So it's easier. But yeah, I mean, we do travel for work, so it does limit what I can do. But it's kind of one of the things I think that in my day job and in my night job, I feel like that communication is so important. So I just kind of, put the big rocks in first. I'm sure you've seen that video or that object lesson where you have a jar,
Oh,
and if you fill it with sand and pebbles and water, you can't put the big rocks in it. But if you put the big rocks in first, then the pebbles, then the sand, then the water, it all fits. And so I'm constantly saying, what are my big rocks? And how do I do those things? Because, okay, let's face it, it feels good to check things off the list, right? And the easy ones, the little ones, are the easiest to check off. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I did that. I did that. But really, the harder ones, the big rocks, are the ones you really got to focus on. So I try. I'm not an expert, but I try.
none of us are perfect, but we're still
Right.
learning and we're adapting and finding that right balance for sure. Now, you're doing your day job and then you're doing your evening job.
Yes.
What are some things that you're discussing? Because I'd like to give you just your opportunity to share about your book. So tell us a little bit about what the book entails and how that's been able to fit in with your already busy schedule, but it's not that it's taking away from your daily job. It almost kind of overlaps a little bit. It kind of
It helps. It helps. So my book is Fired: How to Manage Your Career in the Age of Job Uncertainty. And it's on Amazon. And I published it right at the end, December 2017. And at that time, there were 20 million people unemployed in the country. And who would have thought 3 years later we would be in this tragic mess of unemployment, job loss, layoffs, companies that may or may not be coming back. And so I wrote this book because I experienced as a young adult my father getting fired. And he was 55 years old, and he was the sole financial support for our family. And I had moved home to go to grad school. And so, he was even feeding me. And he came home, and it was like the darkest cloud over our family. Everything was sullen. He went into the most severe depression. We were so worried about him. And then back at that time, Micah, there weren't computers, so everything was done with a typewriter. And I remember, I can see it today, the dining room table covered with newspapers, the typewriter, the envelopes, the man working day in and day out to try to get a job. I would come home after class, and he would be sitting, how a couch has 3 sections? He'd be sitting in the middle section of the couch in a suit and tie, his dress shoes. Dad, what are you doing? He goes, I don't know what else to do. It's all I've ever done. So, that really, as you can see, affected me. So I vowed to myself that will never happen to me. I will never have economic insecurity. I will never be a victim. So much for that, Micah, because it happened to me.
Yeah.
And I did everything I could to prepare myself. So I studied the hardest. I worked the hardest. I had national networks. I even got my doctorate. And I just said, everything I do, I've got to be secure for my family, which most providers say, right? Most of us, men and women, we're very, very concerned about our family's well-being. And so when I lost my job, there was an outpouring of people because I had this vast national network. I mean, I really did. I was so fortunate and blessed with my job that I got to meet all kinds of people. Well, they call me up. Nancy, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
You don't know this, but it happened to me. And I was like, you're so great. How could anybody let you go? And then another person would call me, and then another person, and then another person. And then it happened to my husband. So we were both unemployed. And then our daughter and our son. And so I remember Dave and I sitting with 2 other couples, and one of them was just let go from a major university. The other one was just let go from a major university. Dave and I were both let go. And then one of them was still working. So there were 5 educated professional adults sitting on our patio. Only one was working. And so it just dawned on me, it can happen to anybody at any time. So you have to be prepared. Well, you know, my doctoral program prepared me to do what's called qualitative research, which is talking to people and understanding them and developing themes. So I did. I set out to interview people across the country who had lost their jobs. And I found incredibly sad, and thank you for reading the book, powerful stories of people who were just almost relentlessly caught off guard and shocked, going through depression and so on. But I also learned about their recovery and how they got through it, what they did. And from that, really gained some very valuable tips for anybody who is working or not working, and what they can do to increase their job security or their employability. And so I think it's one of the only books ever written. I think there's one other written by an academician that I've read that's really about the lives of people who have lost their jobs. And, you know, work is so important in our society, right?
Yeah.
What's the first question you're asked when you meet somebody?
Where do you work?
Yeah. What do you do? Where do you work? So imagine how challenging that is for people who've just lost a job. And then what happens is then you don't feel good about yourself. So you stay home and you stay on the couch, and it's all a vicious cycle.
It is. It is. And you know, and now the biggest concern is the word and the term furloughed.
Oh, yeah. Give me a break.
For a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's no longer you're fired or you're laid off or we don't need you. It's you're furloughed. So now there's a whole new term.
Yes, there is.
We're having to adapt to. Now, you know, you have such a drive and a passion for what you're doing, both your day job and your evening job and your week. But I do know, you know, and I don't know how many people, you know, follow you and know your story, but I also know that you have also gone through during that rise, that spike of publishing your book, doing really well, and then all of a sudden you get attacked essentially with cancer. And you know, still finding, you know, even when I found out that you were diagnosed with cancer, with breast cancer, you wouldn't have known with your character, your personality, your smile, your still positive vibes that you were even displaying on pictures. You could just see you were like, yes, I have this, but this does not define me. I'm not letting it take me. I'm not letting it be, this is Nancy King now. You bought it. You fought it. You know, you fought against it. So tell us, how did you reach that level and keep that mentality of a positive attitude and fighting?
You know, it was so shocking to me because there's no cancer in my family anywhere. So I had never in the million years expected a mammogram to go wrong. I mean, honestly, Micah, never. And I want to make a plug for the women out there. If you can get a 3D mammogram, I encourage you to do that. It is far more sensitive than the typical mammograms. But people don't often get them, Micah, because it's an additional fee. So it is what saved me because they caught it early. And so, you know, I don't know that I was unique or special. I think that I took the diagnosis and I was just so grateful it was so early and it had metastasized. And then I just said, I'm going to do what I have to do. You know, if the doctor says this, I'm going to do that. And so I had a lumpectomy and I started chemo, lost all my hair, and kind of as a badge of honor, I am not coloring it. I'm letting it be its natural color now. I was a brunette. So I feel really, really fortunate. I guess that's how I got through it. I thought, wow, so many people have it so much worse. And of course, when you go to Virginia Oncology, you see very sick people. And I always felt so fortunate that my situation was very treatable,
Yeah.
very thankful for my doctor, Dr. Alberico, very thankful for my surgeon, Dr. Goldstein. And it was just huge support from family and friends. I mean, I would get cards, I would get letters. I worked the whole time too. My boss, Ben Uncle, was so supportive of me, and my teammates rallied. So, you know, how could I be anything but positive when I had all that love and nurturing? It carried me, and you just go through it. And honestly, you don't have a choice. Your choice is to give up or to plow through. So,
And you plowed through. That's
yeah, yeah,
plowed through.
yeah. And it takes a long time, because even after treatment, you have another year of being exhausted and trying to get back to normal. So I guess I was trying to project positivity, and I didn't hide my baldness. I just, you know, this is the way it is. And folks, that's just how it goes. You lose your hair, it grows back. And, but that is a scary thing for women, especially.
Yeah, I cannot imagine
Yeah.
being told that, you know,
Yeah.
you go in, you're thinking everything's fine, and then right then, in a matter of seconds, your whole perspective changes.
Yes.
You know,
My kids came home. My husband was with me, my sisters and brother. So, you know, you have those relationships, and you can count on people. They want to help. They don't know how to help. So actually, you got to tell them. When
Yep.
they say, what can I do? You have to say, could you fold that laundry? Because what can I do is kind of a open-ended question, and you just have to take advantage of the help you know you'll be doing, helping somebody sometime in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's key is just even, you know, the fact that you just said what you just said about how can I help, and you're going, I have no idea, but the smallest thing you said was just do laundry.
Yeah.
You know, a simple, small, little, you know, task as insignificant as it sounds of doing laundry,
Yeah.
can take from a female's perspective, especially for the single dads and the dads that are out there, we know what that's like too. But
Yes.
just the simple fact of going do laundry,
Yeah.
and your mind and your shoulders just go, someone's doing laundry. I can relax a little bit.
Right. It's a big help. It's a big help to know. And I would work and I would go to bed almost right after the meal. And the pressure, I didn't have any pressure. My kids are adults, Dave and I, you know, it was okay. A lot of women have, you know, young children and go through this, and I didn't have that situation.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, Nancy, this has been amazing.
Thank you.
Hear your story, and again, you can see the passion and the quality of care that you have, and just the mentality that you've given of pushing through and just, you know, plowing through the things that you get thrown at you. Now, I always like to end my segments with a word of encouragement, some wisdom that you can leave for our viewers and listeners, just so it's something that they can leave with this message and get them through either today or this week. You know, what could you share with those that are listening or watching?
So I have a couple mottos, and one of them is it's lonely on the extra mile. And what that means is that many people do what they have to. And so when you go the extra mile, it's going to pay off for you. You're going to stand out. For example, you're doing these LinkedIn sessions, you're doing the Monday mornings. These things are not what everybody's doing. So it's standing out. And I always tell my kids it's lonely on the extra mile. You don't have to excel in everything, but it's that one extra dose that sets you apart. So I've tried to live by that. But you know, I work in hospice and home health, and in hospice we say every day's a gift.
Yep.
And so it's a gift. Every day's a gift. Now that doesn't mean every day I have to climb a mountain or check something off my bucket list. You know, I don't even care about that. but every day's a gift. And so I try to find the gift in every day. And one of the things I've done during the pandemic, especially, is look for something beautiful every day. So I go outside, and let me just tell you, I was walking my dog and I saw a heron sitting on top of a post in the evening. And so it was this beautiful shadow of a heron. So what is something beautiful every day? You know, we are all able to find that beautiful sky, or we can walk to the water or go in a forest and just exhale and find something beautiful. I think we all need those breaks, and we all need to be reminded of our connectivity to one another and Mother Earth. So I would say find that beauty in every day. And it will help you with your gratefulness, your gratitude, and, you know, finding the good emits positive energy, and that's what will come back to you.
Awesome. Wow, those are some really good, encouraging words for all of us to be reminded of during the day, during this time that we're going through, because it is a challenge, but we can get through it. You know,
Yes.
together we can get through it. You know, so man, Nancy, I appreciate this. My goodness, this has been great. I hope some of you that are listening and watching also feel the same level of inspiration and motivation to stay out there and work on those big rocks and
Yes.
balance the little ones, and still find time for family and so forth during these times.
Yes.
So that's it for Micah and the hashtag Monday Morning with Micah. Enjoy your week, and you know, stay safe, sane, healthy, and connected. Have a good one.